I am so bad. I'm like trying to remember what was inside this one specifically. Like I remember the one we went through that I thought was down there. That one had like the art from all around the wood, like that big rock statue when we walked in. That was another one. So what was it? Was this just paintings?
Yeah, this one's mostly paintings.
I'm trying to remember like what's inside of it. You know, I do remember a little bit. Okay, I remember a little bit now. Now we're getting closer to the entrance. In this area, there's a bunch, guys. Look up if you're here. Look up. There's a bunch of free museums here. The Sculpture Garden, that's a free one. But you can just walk around. Honestly, guys, even if you don't buy a ticket, there is like at least there's at least 5 gardens, that are free. And then there's also just the architecture plus a couple of free mini museums. So I would say there's more than enough to do here, even if you don't have a ticket or anything. And if you're gonna do one, I like the History Museum a lot. That was fun. I know people would like the cars and some would like the jets, the airplane stuff. But for me, it was definitely the History Museum. I think that one had one free 3D show with it as well, if you buy a ticket. And you can do more if you pay more. Yeah, this area was kind of originally developed because it was, the Woods Fair was here. And some of the buildings are from the Woods Fair and some are not. But the basic outline of this was from the Woods Fair, and then they kind of continued to upkeep it and make it better. Sounds like I hear some organs now. There's the restaurant here. Can I give a recommendation? No, we've never done it. Sounds like they're all doing the organ. Yeah, on Sundays they do an organ concert. Which is what we're heading for. There's also the Space Museum. There's a bunch of museums here. There's also the one that we haven't been to is the Comic-Con one, because that one was not a part of the pass. We do have, these were awesome. Bunch of people here with nice old classic cars. Long line for the gardens today. Highly recommend the attraction.
Todavía es poco. Ese animal no puedo, pero.
I just want to see this.
Yeah, those people just walking super slow and just kind of like clogging up the way.
We have a concert today at
Yes,
2.
thank you so much. And that's why we're here. All right. So let's go.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another concert on San Diego's unique and historic Spiracles outdoor pipe organ. My name is Dale Sorensen. I serve as your organ curator. First-time visitors are often interested in the brief history of this great facility. Both the organ and the building were a gift of the sugar heirs Adolph B. and John D. Spiracles. The organ was first played on New Year's Eve, ushering in 1915 at the opening ceremonies of the Panama, California exposition that was held here in Balboa Park. The organ has been in continuous use these past 110 years. The instrument was originally built by the Austin Organ Company of Hartford, Connecticut, When first installed, it contained 46 ranks or sets of pipes. Now through subsequent additions over the decades, it contains 81 ranks, or nearly 5,100 speaking pipes. The largest pipes are 32 feet in length, the smallest about the size of a pencil. All the sounds you hear are natural sounds produced by compressed air energizing pipes or actual percussion instruments being struck by organ mechanism. There is no electronic tone generation or amplification of the organ at all. These programs are presented throughout the year every Sunday afternoon between 2 and 3 by the City of San Diego Park and Recreation Department in cooperation with the Spiracles Organ Society. The Spiracles Organ Society is a grassroots group of volunteers that has come together to preserve, program, and promote this unique world treasure. The Spiracles Organ Society is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation specifically formed to assist the city in things the city cannot logically be expected to do, especially in the area of programming and promotion. The Spiracles Organ Society maintains a membership table over here. It's called a membership table because always are seeking new members. Want each one of you really to catch the vision that John D. and Adolph Spiracles had for this place to present great music of the masters without charge to the public, to the people of San Diego and all the world, as it says over here. So catch that vision, talk to them about membership. It's a nominal fee or nominal donation for that. It's you don't have to be a San Diegan, you don't have to be a USA citizen, you don't have to be a resident here. You'd be a visitor. We have members literally from all over the world that have caught that vision for great music here. So they have some, if the sun comes out again, we have some more umbrellas over there for rent. They have some apparel available, some t-shirts for nominal donation. And of course, talk to them about membership and also donations. They can help you give online. There are donation boxes at the entrances over there. But if you don't have cash, talk to them. They know how to do it, all of that online. Our recitalists today, and those of you here earlier heard him practicing, is our fine San Diego civic organist, Raul Prieto Ramirez. Raul brings a wealth of musicianship, musical experience, musicology, downright great music, knowledge, and fun to this position. So we're in for some great music today, a lot of patriotic music. So join me in welcoming back to the stage San Diego's fabulous civic organist, Raul Prieto Ramirez.
Thank you, thank you. We have a Memorial Day program prepared today. And I'm going to start with the Aaron Copland fanfare for the common man. That was a commission during the Second World War. I may say right, I may not. I think it was the Cleveland Orchestra. They commissioned several composers to write fanfares to play at the beginning of the concert season with the orchestra to remind people about the ongoing Second World War. And this was such a good piece that the life of this particular fanfare has gone way farther than just the commission from the Cleveland Orchestra, and it's a popular piece performed by many orchestras in the country nowadays. So I would like to start the concert today with this fanfare for the common man from American composer Aaron Copland. Please enjoy. Thank you. Thank you for standing up. I think you make your branches visible, and that's important. So thank you so much. It's my pleasure to play this piece every time I have an opportunity. So now we turn back to the idea of honoring the memory of those who gave their life for this country, for our country. Well, we might be some visitors here, so you are welcome too. So now I'm going to play for all of you a piece of music for which I ask that we slow down, relax, close your eyes if you want, enjoy the part. And if you know, if you have family members who die in service, well, it's a good time to remember them. So for all of you, I have to say something about that. It's called the Albinoni, the Adagio from Albinoni, but are any of you familiar with that? Albinoni Adagio, have you ever seen that? It's in many of those CDs about popular classical music, but it's a complete fake. Not the music is not fake, but the title. So what happened is this Albinoni is a composer, an Italian Baroque composer. He left a few drafts, and then musicologists and Italian musicologists, and because Italian doesn't know how to make business, he found the draft and wrote a piece himself and advertised that and published that like the Adagio from Albinoni. It was never written by Albinoni at all. It's actually by this Renzo, this musicologist, but the music became very popular and has been used over and over and over every time there is an event where the memory of those who, like today, who lost their lives for our country needs to be remembered. So please join me with the Adagio from Albinoni. More or less. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. How many of you are new to this organ? You have never heard playing this organ before. Don't be shy. Okay. So I'm gonna explain you a little bit how this thing works here. So in the case of this particular piece I just played, when I transcribe these, I have to take all the orchestra part, and we had the basses here, then we had the trombones here, on my thumb on the left hand, then we have all the French horns on the other 4 fingers of my left hand on the second keyboard. Then we have the piccolos on my right hand on the third keyboard. And then we have the tubas, the trombones, actually the solo ones, on my right foot. And then we put all together, and hopefully now I will do better. Thank you. And that's how it works. So you're trying to put the entire orchestra on the organ, and those are techniques that we use for transcription, like play with one finger on one keyboard, while we have the others on the other. So it's the way it works. Now that you know, every time you come, I'll do some kind of crazy stuff like that. And sometimes we're better than others, but now we're going to finish the concert today with a piece of music that actually one of my predecessors, Bob Clinton, he recommended me to play. He said that he was always playing that piece for Memorial Day and for Veterans Day. And I found it was a great idea. So I don't know if Bob Clinton will be here today. He's pretty old now and he has some problems to walk. But it was a great piece of advice I'm going to acknowledge him for. So I'm going to play for all of you by Cesar Frank, his pièce héroïque. The way it works, let me show you a little bit about that. We have the score there. So you have to imagine Frank in France, 1870s. He was a late 19th century French composer. In the Champs-Élysées in Paris, witnessing the French troops coming back from the Franco-Prussian War. Like every time France lost the war. So it might have been a very daunting kind of scene to see the French troops marching in a way heroically because they were giving their lives for France, but on the other side, very sad because they lost, and many of those young French guys were never gonna come back to their families. So that combination of both things is in this piece. Let me show that to you, number 60. So on one side we have he represents the frenzy, the craziness of the battlefield, all the adrenaline, with these repeated chords. And then the theme initially, it sounds heroic, like going out with that ta-ta-tam, ta-ta-ta-dam, but then, uh-oh, uh-oh. That's how he opposed both things, the heroicism and the very sad feeling of losing the war. Then in the middle, I mean, this is not written anywhere. I made that entire story, all right? But it works so well when I teach these pieces to students in masterclass, they immediately get it. So if they can, you can. Then in the middle, there is this part where you listen a melody coming from the flutes. It's a soft part in the middle, but at the same time, underneath that melody, you're going to hear sometimes this sound. Those are the timpani, boom, boom, boom. Like the timpanis are reminding us during that soft melody that the battle is still ongoing. So that melody for me is like the voice from the angels calling for the souls of those who are dying in the battlefield, where you listen to the timpani on the background, reminding what is going on. So then the timpani start repeating and repeating and repeating all the time. And then the melody gets a little bit more nervous. And then we return back to the beginning with all the sadness and the heroism, and the whole thing builds up and builds up until a big climax at the end with full organ, in which you're going to hear this melody from the angels, with the entire full organ, like finally the souls of those that has died for France are finally in heaven in front of God, and then it's a very triumphant thing. So it's a story that I don't normally say that, but yes, I made this up. But it works absolutely perfectly well with number one, the date of the music, which is specifically during the Franco-Prussian War, so right after. So could have happened. Number two, it works well with Frank, who always opposed different feelings in the same music. And number three, it's pièce héroïque. It's talking about heroism. What else can the story be about? So, thank you for being here today. We are here every single Sunday at 2 p.m. with a free concert, different styles, different music, sometimes different artists too. And like every Sunday, I want to ask all of you for a big applause for our volunteers here today. From Bob Line there with the cameras, Bill DeVore, and I mean, like, we have a big Catherine is there, so we have a big team today. When you leave, please give them a big thank you, because without them we couldn't make these concerts. Now, by Cesar Frank, Pièce Héroïque. Please enjoy your what's left from your Memorial Day weekend, and hope to see you back any Sunday. Thank you. So we had the unofficial March of the United States. Now we're going to have the official national anthem, and your job is going to be to sing louder than the organ. Thank you, everybody, for being here today.
All right, everyone, that was our organ concert. Like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.